comic book fans, this is your host, Travis Collins, and as promised, I'm back for another episode of Duck Punch Comics for the last 3 books that I picked up on September 1st, 2010. Tonight we are going to be looking at Incorruptible number 9, Green Hornet Annual number 1, and The Authority number 26. Now, you know the drill by now. We jump straight to the reviews with tonight's Incorruptible number 9, written by Mark Waid with artwork by Horatio Dominguez. Now, about 2 years ago, Mark Waid launched his new book, Irredeemable, which chronicles the fall into insanity of a superhero on the same scale of power as Superman. As a companion to that book, we got Incorruptible, about a former villain trying to be a good guy in the same universe. So far, this has been a largely ho-hum title, but this issue, to quote the great movie, This Is Spinal Tap, cranked things up to 11. Now, the main character, Max Damage, and his new sidekick continue their hunt for the former girlfriend that superhero I was telling you about, that went evil, the Plutonian, trying to find her because her unpublished biography of the Plutonian has let every 2-bit thug know Max's one weakness. Now, after the missing woman's home is compromised, Max and Jailbait head for the headquarters of the largest gang that's been giving them trouble to try and find this woman, only to discover that things are worse than they could have possibly imagined. Now, while Irredeemable has been sort of wavering of late, Incorruptible has only been getting stronger. Waid is really wrestling with the idea of just what it takes for a man who once thought of as like just the worst scum to become a hero. And the current story arc is taking that exploration to some astonishing and somewhat disturbing places. Max's current problems are all of his making, and Waid really brings the reader into that tightrope walk that Max finds himself on. It's pretty weighty, but it's also really stellar. Now, I'm not a fan of Dominguez. I just don't think his kind of cartoony, over-the-top style really fits this book. In fact, it's pretty much the only thing I can say against this book. But bottom line, Incorruptible is exceptionally strong this week, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next issue. You should give this one a try, along with Irredeemable. Next up, Green Hornet Annual number 1, written by Phil Hester and Carlos Raphael. Now, for those unfamiliar with this, a comic book annual is usually a one-off story set most of the time either between events in the main story or just completely separate and apart from the ongoing story. And it's usually written by someone, or it's usually written and drawn by someone completely different than the normal team. In this case, we're treated to a sort of a backup story to things that took place early in the new adventures of the new Green Hornet, and how his current path relates back to his father. Now, Britt Reed, the new Green Hornet and the son of the original, has just watched his father be murdered by a man he believes to be the Green Hornet, and is out for revenge. Now, he meets up with an old friend who at one point taught him martial arts, and wants him to help him on his quest for vengeance. But of course, the friend wants nothing to do with him. As it turns out, this old friend also has a connection to the original Green Hornet, which is explained while he watches some of the events that we've already seen in the main comic. Now, Hester is writing an interesting story about a spectator to the birth of the new Green Lantern, but I can't help if this feels a little heavy-handed when playing with the old heartstrings. It isn't bad, but as far as such stories go, it's not that good. Raphael, the artist, on the other hand, is quite good. He really, sort of kind of what we saw with Captain America Forever Allies, there's a real neat mix of pulp-style telling the flashbacks and more modern style telling the ongoing story. I liked it. I like it when it's pulled off well, it really works. Now, it's always hard to judge annuals because they really aren't part of the ongoing story. Now, that being said, I'm not sorry I picked this up, but I'm certainly glad this is a one-off and not something direly important to the ongoing. It's okay, just nothing really worth writing home about. Last up, The Authority, number 26, written by Tom Taylor, with art by Al Barrionueva. Now, I may just be the last person still reading The Authority, but damn it, it is still a good book, especially since Earth got completely fragged and they took off for space. And in this issue, that sort of descent that they've been on into chaos, as the last survivors of Earth try to make this new situation work, it goes just even farther down the rabbit hole. Now, in the wake of the battle with the Aegean, it is revealed that Jack Hawksmoor, the leader of the Authority, has been hiding some deadly weapons from the rest of the team, as well as a little agenda that ingratiates him to no one. These inter-team spats, however, are quickly squashed when the ship that they're on arrives at a new planet and is immediately accosted by a massive vessel, which not only scares the piss out of the living computer driving their ship, but also makes it very clear that it has hostile intentions for our heroes. Now, Tom Taylor took over after Abnett and Lanning left, and obviously had some very big shoes to fill. I think he's done alright, though it took him a while to get to the point where he can really start playing with the characters in a way that feels natural and not sort of imposed. I'm still not crazy about the new team, but the story is still pretty strong, and there's a lot of potential. Now, Barrionuevo, the artist, is pretty good. Nothing special, but pretty good. Now, The Authority has been a very good book for a very long time, and through a lot of different high-profile names working on it. It's also one of the few books out there that is still good after all that time. Now, if you like your heroes just a little bit edgier and your crises just a little bit more apocalyptic in scale, then give The Authority a shot. It's still worth it. So there you go, guys. The last books for September 1st, 2010. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have our wrap-up show. I know I promised I was going to do one last week, and it was crap because I was tired, but we are actually going to do one tomorrow. I'm going to pick a book of the week, and we're going to be looking forward to the next week because comics don't come out until Thursday because of the holiday. As always, leave comments, let me know what you thought, and I'll hope you guys have a good evening. Check you later.